Yeah, Pastor Tabitha Purple. We are looking at our thought for today, devotional thought. We are in Hebrews, the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 5. Obviously, there is a lot of debate still over the author of Hebrews, so let's not get too much into that or get lost. But let's see what the author of Hebrews, who is clearly a Bible whiz kid and complete Bible ninja, is talking to us about today. So Hebrews 5 verse 5, and it says this: in the same way Christ did not exalt himself to become a high priest, but God, who said to him, "You are my son, today I have become your father." Again, it's ripped out of context, so good luck trying to form a theology off of that, but let's at least try and get a thought for today out of it. I think it would be really great if we could read all the verses around, but I'm aware of the fact that I have been ranting this particular week. So we're on day 48, and days 44 through 47 I have ranted quite a lot because I have been frustrated about the justice and inequality and deaths and murders and racism and xenophobia and sexism and hatred, and I've just been frustrated. And so I come at this text and it says, trying to give myself some peace, that Jesus himself did not exalt up himself. He wasn't trying to be the best at everything. He wasn't trying to get into the best space. He allowed the process to happen. And if God himself can allow the process to happen, then so can I, in my humility, allow God to set in motion the ultimate justice. In some ways that should give you rest, right? It should give your mind that moment of peace. It doesn't fully take away the headache that has formed this week. This week has been filled with challenging thoughts. It's really been tough seeing how the world is going and how people are behaving. The comment sections on the internet seem to have gotten worse this week. I don't know, the justifications for evil this week seem to be higher. And then I think add to that the fact that people are protesting because they don't want to be in the lockdown situation. And I genuinely had to ask myself, like, what is going on? Because this is happening all like I can blame and use stereotypes for Americans. I can sort of say, okay, I'm not American, but I see some stereotypes that ring true, and I can see where you guys are having issues. It doesn't apply to the rest of us. But then, like, the neighbouring countries in Europe are having protests about the lockdown. What are you protesting? No, seriously, what are you protesting? Like, I don't understand. And please don't fill my comment section with that, because I already asked that question. I have some answers on that. But it really just caused me to sit back and think, what is happening to humanity? What are we doing? You know, the first weeks of the lockdown in every country were difficult. People were trying to adjust. The next couple of weeks, we went through this honeymoon period where we're all like, oh my God, it's so great. Good is so good. Look at how we're connecting with our neighbors or connecting with our children. Look at how we're connecting to new skills. Look at, we've learned stuff. I'm starting a course. You know, running my business from my home isn't as bad as I thought it would be. All sorts of things were coming out. And then it took a turn, because of course it does. And then there was a kind of isolation and the stir crazy. And, you know, psychologists, I'm sure, have labels for all of this that goes through it. But this week we have hit lunacy, where I have seen protests where the selfishness seems to have increased. People are like really extreme in their thinking. Even as simple as like hoarding stuff and, you know, just that kind of simple behavior. Or on the other hand, I've seen, you know, more news stories in this last week about the violence enacted upon different groups. You know, people beating Chinese people because somebody spoke about it being a Chinese disease. So you beating Chinese. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're human. What's wrong with you? What are you doing? Like, literally, what are you doing? People in places beating black and brown people because they can. Like, literally, there's no reason for it. Like, you pinning a man's head to the floor and punching him in it as a police officer, wearing guns, having the right to do what you want because you can. Like, what is happening? And so I come at this text going, okay, Jesus allowed God to be God, and he fulfilled his part. So now I, Tabitha, need to allow God to be God, and I need to fulfill my part. I need to love my neighbour. I need to do what's right for others. I need to be kind. I need to be patient. I need to be gentle. I need to act on behalf of justice. I need to still do the right thing. I need to work hard at being a good representative of Jesus. But I need to let God be God, and I need to let go of some of that frustration, because God is carrying all of that frustration. Hebrews 5:5, very deep. Would have liked to go into it more, but as you can see, I'm having a rough week with this. These issues are difficult and painful, and listening to the selfishness of people don't make it any easier. Seriously, even my own selfishness ain't making it easier. Like, breathe. God is in God. Tabitha is Tabitha. Do your bit to cover the things that you can do, and let God do his bit for the ultimate justice. Amen. Amen.